Okay, who's done it? Who's accidentally pushed a running lawnmower over the extension cable? Oh no, the mower cord fell victim to the lawnmower, and now it's a write-off. No, it's not. Fixing this correctly is easier than you think. And no, we're not going to twist the wires together and tape it up with insulation tape. That's unsightly, and it can also pull apart easily, making that unsafe. Doing it right means we need to solder the joint, and soldering for electrical connections is an easy and fundamental skill for homeowners and DIY enthusiasts. Now, whether you're working on a circuit board or simply joining two wires, the principle remains the same. First up, we need to understand what is soldering. Soldering for a strong, permanent, and safe electrical connection is effectively placing two ends of an electrical circuit, such as two ends of a cable, into hot molten solder, a very soft metal alloy made from tin and sometimes lead. Now, solder melts at around 300 degrees Celsius, and when that cools, it forms a solid, strong electrical bond between the two metal surfaces. Now, the art of soldering is getting this right. So we know we need heat, and the heat needed to melt the solder is applied with a soldering iron. Now, these are available in different sizes for different jobs. Solder or solder wire is also sold in various sizes or gauges of soldering wire. For electrical work, you want a nice thin option. This 1.2 millimeter is perfect. So here I have my Grip butane powered soldering iron. That's up to temperature. You can see how the solder wire melts. We're good to go. But how do we apply the solder to these cables and join it as best we can? So using my Grip wire strippers, I'm going to bare the cables back, the outer insulation, and this is a 2-core cable. Regardless if you had a 2-core or a 3-core or even a 5-core cable which is used to wire trailer lights, the principles remain the same. Holding the prepared wire on the hot soldering iron, heat is transferred into the wire, which means as soon as I touch the solder onto the now hot wire, the solder melts onto the wire. Now, this molten solder flows between the strands of wire, and when it cools after a few seconds, it creates a solid surface. Now, another hot topic is those that do and don't use flux. Some people use flux on every solder joint, others don't. And yes, we've had this argument here in the studio, and I won. I use flux on all my electrical connections as I find it's quicker and gives me even coverage. Now, this wire that I've just tinned, I did not use flux. Let's do this wire with the flux, as well as the other end of our cut cable. Dip the end of the wire into the flux, heat the wire in the same way, and apply the solder. How quick was that? Even looks neater. Too much solder can create messy joints. Now that all 4 wires are tinned, we can join them. So I'm going to slip on a short length of heat shrink over the extension lead. We'll use that to cover the joint at the end, and a short length over the cable. Then simply hold my 2 matching cables together, gently press onto the soldering iron, and in a second or two, you'll see the solder change from a drab to a shiny silver. Move the cables off the tip and blow on it, and there we are, that's joined. Slide the heat shrink over the joint and hold it over the soldering iron until it softens and squeeze it into place. That's a nice strong joint. In fact, this extension lead can go back into service. Now, don't be fooled by its small size. They say dynamite comes in small packages, and these are the top 5 reasons I'm so impressed with this tool. In fact, that has to be reason number 1. The small size and portability means that I can take the tool to the job site without having to bring the entire job site into the workshop. Put the lid on, protects the tip, and it fits into my pocket. As the name suggests, this soldering iron is heated from a butane-fueled flame. The soldering iron is not supplied with gas due to safety regulations during transport. So don't forget to grab yourself a butane lighter refill aerosol. Now, to fill the iron, while holding it upside down, insert the nozzle into the valve at the back, give a short squirt, and that is now full of butane. The soldering iron has a runtime of 20 minutes when set at medium heat, and each fill only takes 6 mils of gas. That's 50 refills on this 300 milliliter canister. Igniting the soldering iron is easy. Remove the lid, turn on the gas by sliding the adjustable gas control, and click the ignition, just like a traditional lighter. It couldn't be easier. And that's my second reason. By varying the adjustable gas control switch, I can adjust the temperature of the soldering iron, which, if you're doing metal work like jewelry, is of great value. Reason number 3. Being heated by a butane flame means it's cordless, which means not only can I go to the job site, but I don't depend on electricity, extension cables, power outages. And as this is heated by a flame, the soldering iron gets hot fast, really fast. They say the proof is in the pudding. Now here I have two Grip soldering irons, a traditional 30-watt electrical model and my half-size butane version. I'm going to hang a piece of solder wire over each tip, plug in my electric model, and light the butane. There we go. Start the timer. What we're trying to do is see which one heats up quicker to the point that the solder that's hanging on the tip drops onto the bench. And the results are as follows. The electrical model took 1 minute 51 to reach operating temperature and melt that hanging solder. The butane model, 25 seconds to reach working temperature. I could have literally tinned a pair of cables with the time difference. That is my fourth reason, the speed at which this is ready to work. My fifth reason is the lid, as when I'm finished soldering, I can pop the lid on, even with the tip hot, put it into my pocket. There's no need to wait for it to cool down. And when time is money, folks, this really is an impressive piece of kit. It's due date to get a grip on your soldering. I mean, get a grip for your soldering. Now these are available in-store or online at builders.co.za. For more videos like this, check out the blog on the website. Get to Builders, get it done.